everybody. So a really common question that we get as speech teachers is, why do I gotta do this? So at the beginning of every module, we're gonna put in a little video here so you understand exactly why we're asking you to do the things that we're asking you to do. And what that really translates to is that a higher end question that the whole state is asking, and the whole country in some cases, and that is, what are the objectives of this class? What are the outcomes that you hope I'm going to accomplish? And why does this thing you're asking me to do connect to that? So it's a good question. And it's one that we think about all the time in this department. There is nothing in any of your modules that is there randomly. Everything we've done is not to pick on you or make you have a lot of homework. It's really there because we think that task is important enough to lead you to the skills that are going to make you successful in these outcomes. So right now we're going to start with the speech ladder, and the speech ladder is the module. Module L is how it's graded, and it says climb your way to success because, as I told you earlier, this module is very different from the other ones. It's going to be open throughout the whole time you're enrolled, and you have to do these assignments in order. We want you to do all of your assignments in order, but these have to be done in order. If you don't do them in order, they're going to get sent back to you. So let's take a look at what's going on here. The objectives that you're going to be accomplishing in this have to do with the outcomes in delivering a speech. So in your syllabus, if you go back and you look, the outcomes for the course are all listed. We also have them at the front of all of these. I'm pointing them down here because they're a little more obvious. But this module used to be part of Module D. So I'm going to go down here and show you something. And one of the things it's showing you in this module is you're supposed to learn how to wow, I've been talking a lot tonight, so I apologize. You're going to have to learn how to apply the effects of audience analysis. That's included in some of these prep assignments. How to research and develop an informative extemporaneous speech. Now you're going to repeat this process again later on for a persuasive speech with a little less research, but this informative speech is kind of the doozy. And so those research and informative skills are all in here. How to use technology effectively when you're presenting a speech, and then how to think creatively, innovatively, and critically. So that's 90% of what we're asking you to do in this speech module. And in other terms, you have to do successful speeches in order to get credit in a public speaking class, right? So this speech ladder is designed to make that happen. All right, so let's take a look at what's in here. Now, again, you have to do these assignments in order. So please understand that. You're not going to get credit for L2 until you've done L1. But the first thing we're going to do is send you to the library. And we've moved this recently because students kind of freak out about going to the library. But we're going to ask you to go to the library. We're going to ask you to choose a topic and do some research on it. And then we're going to ask you to consult with that librarian, pick a certified librarian, and pick one of the 4 topics that are listed there, and then go in and find a certain amount of references that meet different requirements. So one of the main things that they're looking at in that is the academic reference. An academic reference is different than a credible reference, and so that's part of what all of this is designed to teach you. So anyway, you're going to go do this library visit, and then you're going to come back. So make plans for that. Make your appointments for that. It's not something we're going to waive or let you out of. So let's get it done. Then the next assignment, you're going to read what we call an academic article. And it can be a little bit more intensive than some of us are used to. So you're probably not going to understand everything that's written in that article because it was written by PhDs who've been studying that field for 10, 12 years. And so really you're going to have to work at understanding it completely. But the way you read an academic article is you read the abstract, which is the little paragraph at the beginning, and that's going to give you an overview of it. And then skim through the rest and get down to the conclusions and read what they found out. And so you're going to be working with that academic article and learning those things. So, and then you're just going to review. You don't have to completely understand it, but you're going to answer those questions. And hopefully by the end of this, you're understanding what's different between an academic article and a regular article. Then you're going to actually get later on to where you're choosing your informative speech topic. So that assignment's designed to help you choose well. We're going to ask you to discuss that with your classmates and see what they think about it. So that's giving you some of that teamwork that is one of the core skills required in this class. And then you're going to learn how to create what we call an annotated bibliography. And that bibliography is going to be used to ensure that you have 5 sources that you need and that at least one of them is academic. And at this point, you can use the topic that you researched earlier, but a lot of you are probably going to switch into something that's more interesting, and that's fine too. Again, go back, use that librarian if you're not sure what an academic article is, but you don't have to go back because now we know you've gone. So if you know how to find an academic article on your own, that's fine. But if when you're doing this research, you need to cheat a little and go use her, that's legal cheating, or her or him. Your librarian is there to actually help you pull your references. So make sure if you've made that connection that you know you can go back. Then the next one is a research organizer. And what that's going to do is rather than just say, oh, I'm going to do my speech at the last minute and I'm going to talk about this topic, I'm going to say these 3 things, I'm going to pull it all together the night before. That doesn't fly at college level speaking. We need your speech to actually come out of the research you read. So this speech organizer is going to take you back to the article. It's going to make you highlight the article and connect what you're reading with what you're going to tell us. So it's very important. That's how we measure to make sure that your research is involved in your speech. It's a very important process. So you want to do this one very carefully. Watch the video before you try to do the assignment. And this is a point where you're probably going to want to access a printer and print. You don't have one at home, come to the college and print at the school. They'll let you do it. Sometimes they charge like 5 cents a page, so bring a few bucks in pocket change with you. But that can be an important one where students get stuck. Then after that, you're going to be defining the 3 main points that you want to say, but we want that to come from the research. So the next one is defining your 3 points. Then after you've named those 3 points, you're going to come up with your thesis statement. Thesis statements are very different in speech than they are in like English, especially if you've had AP English. So be aware that we're a little more direct and specific in how we say things. But these research skills and this ability to connect research to what you want to say ahead of time is very important, and it will transfer later on to your writing and your other academic classes as well. The next assignment is designed to guide you through how to write a good introduction and a good conclusion. A lot of students lose points on their speeches because they don't think about this part or they have a hard time with it. And then the next one is your preparation outline. This outline is an outline that should be deep enough that if I were to come to work for you and you couldn't give your speech, that I could speak from it. So I don't want whole sentences here. We don't want to see that. But in paragraphs, we can use some whole sentences, but we don't want to see paragraphs. This is not a manuscript. You're not going to read to us. We'll send your speech back if you read to us, or if you try to memorize, it's going to mess you up. This is an outline. It's an outline that will give you talking points. So you will use this to start your rehearsal process. Then we're going to teach you how to do a shortened outline that's called a keyword outline. It will prepare you well to make a PowerPoint that goes alongside that. And once you get to that keyword outline, then you're going to start practicing out loud. This is where a lot of people mess up. They keep researching and researching and researching, and they never get to where they're practicing out loud. So that informative practice log will come in there. And then there's the informative speech upload. And that's where you're going to upload your speech into YouTube if you are an online student, or you're going to do it in class if you're a seated student. So talk with your teacher about that. And then the ladder goes on into your persuasive speech. It's helping you storyboard your persuasive topic. There aren't quite as the same requirements on that. So, but you are still going to do an outline and then a visual aid and then a persuasive practice log. And then you're going to upload your speech. So all of this is stuff you would normally be doing, but the difference between the way we're now teaching speech and the way it's traditionally taught is usually an instructor will just give you like a packet and they'll say, you need to have an outline, you need to have a visual aid, you need to make sure of this many references and blah, 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 blah. And students don't do it until the day or two before it's due, Or the anxious students will do it way ahead, but they'll keep researching themselves to death. So what we're trying to do here is make sure you have stop points in the process and that we actually get you to the point where you're practicing your speech out loud several times before you ever give it to your audience. And we'll learn more about this when we study fear, but that's the main anecdote we have to helping you not be so terrified to speak. It's called practice and preparation. So anyway, that was a bit of an overview. Remember, I'm going to say it again, do these assignments in order, do them completely, do not skip around. It will mess you up. So it's designed to teach you a process, not just the product of the speech. Have a great day, and welcome again to public speaking, and welcome to climbing the ladder to a successful speech.